brother, oh, brother, oh, brother. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good whatever freaking time it is for you folks. It is a beautiful Tuesday, June the 4th. You smell that? You smell that in the air? That's what I like to call opportunity. Folks, the market, big ranges. If you're on the right side of the range, you're going to make a lot of money. If you're on the wrong side of the range, like I was yesterday, for both. If you look at the market yesterday, it was just like Friday where we sold and I happened to be bullish and then I switched bearish and then it pumped. So I had the unique ability to lose money on both sides because I'm that good of a trader. So I want you guys to know that whatever I do, I can lose money. No matter what the market does, I can lose money, which I think is a skill set in itself. So obviously I want to talk about that. I want to talk about how the market really handed my ass to myself yesterday, and then I had to cry about it all last night. So we're going to get into that. I want to give you the rundown on everything going on in the market. The big thing today is at 10 a.m. 30 minutes into the trading day, we're going to be getting the JOLTS job report, the JOLTS. That comes out 30 minutes into the trading day. We do have some other news related to what's happening in the current political situation here. So even though we just ended with Trump's first trial, the hush money thing, we actually have a whole new political trial starting. The jury selection is currently underway for Hunter Biden's gun charges or something like that. So I want to give everyone the skinny on that situation. Then we're going to talk about the overall market. And then I want to give you guys your update of what in the world is happening in the GameStop saga. Namely, I want to talk about what's going down with Roaring Kitty, his position. Basically, the guy cleared 85 mil yesterday. Right now in pre-market, not looking so good for him, but who knows? This stuff can obviously move, and it can move very, very rapidly. Then I want to talk a little bit about some crazy things that have been coming out from E-Trade. Apparently, E-Trade is literally considering stopping their services to Keith Gill, aka Roaring Kitty, aka Deep Effing Value, which I think is crazy. A lot of people, I just don't get it. You cannot in the same breath have an issue with what Keith Gill is doing, but not what politicians are doing. It doesn't make sense. So I want to probably rant about that a little bit. And then I'm going to give you, I don't know, just the skinny on all these other situations. But anyway, I hope you're having an absolutely fantastic day. I hope you're having a fantastic morning, evening, afternoon, night, depending on where you live or whenever you're watching this. I hope you're having a good one. I hope you're making a butt ton of money. And I hope you have a fresh iced coffee with you. Folks, we're in the middle of it. We are in the middle of iced coffee season. I know once in a while we might feel a bit more nostalgic. We might want it to be a bit colder out for the winter, for the fall, where we get into some tea, into some hot coffee and all that good stuff. But right now, let's enjoy the weather while we have it. Let's enjoy that big fiery ball millions and millions of miles away that is giving us so much warmth, some vitamin D, making us not feel seasonally depressed. Let's enjoy it while we have it. Folks, I think it's going to be a good day. It's all about vibes. We just got to have the good vibes here. So let's just have a good vibe day. A good vibe day. Anyone in here a Mac user like the broker you use? If so, you should be using Public for sure. No payment for order flow, which is awesome. Most brokerages can't say that. And then I don't know of a single other brokerage that can say they pay you to trade options. Definitely check it out. What's the difference when Kramer says buy and RK posts this trade? I would argue that what Kramer's doing is actually more influential. Roaring Kitty's not saying anything. He's literally just posting his position. He's not telling anyone to buy, to sell. He's not giving out any information. He's just saying, hey, this is what I'm doing. And in America, we have this little thing called free speech, which that would clearly fall under. He's not telling anyone to do squat. He's just saying, hey, this is my position. I think that and we could get into the details of what this does or doesn't mean later, but I think we're in an interesting situation where at the end of this month, I think there's going to be quite a bit of selling pressure in GameStop due to Roaring Kitty because he's going to have to do something with that option position. So in either case, he either sells it and either takes them like the profits or the loss, and you have the market makers unhedging, or he exercises it. But even to exercise, he already has 5 million shares, and that would be another 12 million. So he's probably going to sell a portion, whether it's to just raise, it's a $240 million position to exercise all that. So he's probably going to need a bit of capital unless someone is like, I guess, backing him up. But even then, they might not want him to have 17 million shares. I don't know. It gets all funky, and there's just a very, very good chance that at the end of this month, due to Roaring Kitty himself, there's going to be a bit of selling pressure. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean the stock goes down. What matters is the selling pressure versus the buying pressure. Obviously, if there's more buying pressure than there is selling pressure, even given that, it could just keep ripping. It could keep moving easily. But it does seem as if we have an upcoming event that will relate to selling. So then the golden question is, how much buying pressure will that actually be? So as you could tell, we have quite a bit to get into as it does relate to GameStop. Yes, I'll let you know what's going on in terms of announcements today. We're going to go over the seasonality from today. We're going to go over my personal trading plan for the day. So we have a lot to get into. So if you haven't already, don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. I like the Yahoo Finance says your name was Matt Kohrs. Did they really spell it like that? Did they really spell it? I thought they were spelling it correctly. Did I miss something? For those of you who saw it, yes, I was honored, I was privileged to be invited to join the Yahoo Finance team yesterday to talk about GameStop. And if you missed it, it was pretty much reiterating everything I tell you guys in here of, hey, this is a great opportunity. It's a great active trade. I think premium's expensive right now. So instead of buying calls, I would be a bigger fan of selling puts. Both are bullish. Premium's very, very expensive. And also, I don't like this idea of diamond handing. I think you need to be in this to make money because that's how you're actually going to make an impact on the world around you. It takes money to make an impact. No one is going to make an impact by holding a position that was up a lot of money, goes down a lot of money, and then you scream for the rest of your life about it on social media. No one's going to give a shit. You're not going to change any system to actually improve the world around you. As unfair as it is, you need money. So I think ride the trend as long as the trend is intact. I think you can make money to the upside. I think you can make money to the downside. I think the people who are going to lose money are the people who buy and then they just hold and refuse to ever sell, regardless of if the trend's over, regardless of whatever they're like, just breaking their own trading plan. Holding with no plan of exit is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. Shill, this ain't AMC, and yet it's still the exact same situation. You stupid person. Look at what's happened. The people who made money on GME were the people who rode it up, sold, shorted it, rode it down, recently rode it up again, sold, rode it down again, and then are riding this up. So you have one situation where people crush it either to 3 upside moves, 3 downside moves, or taking all 6. Or you would be your argument of, oh no, I bought once years ago and I'm just holding, and yet you're no better off for it. What seems smarter? Obviously, it's smarter to play the trend. If you think this is one of the best investments currently being offered in the market, would you have to think about it that way? Because none of us have unlimited capital. So you have to think of the best opportunities in the market. And if you think any of these meme stocks are even a top 50 in terms of the entire market of what's currently being presented to us in terms of risk to reward, that's so silly. Why would you know? You might think it's good, but then again, you probably have never spent any serious time trading or investing or doing any of that. I've made money. Oh, so you did sell. So by your own logic, you're a shill because you sold. So now you're just angry at yourself, yelling at yourself in a mirror. If you've made money, that inherently means you sold. So you're the shill actually in here. Congrats, man. Wow. If you made money, you sold. So it really feels like you're arguing against yourself this morning. Congrats. You seem like a massively intellectual person, a true intellectual titan, if you will. Is GME going up today? I don't know. Do you guys want to know? You sold cover calls. Well, if you sold cover calls, congrats, because you are part of the reason it went down then. Because when people are selling covered calls, that means they're buying calls off of you. And to hedge, that means that they sold stock. So you provided downward pressure to the stock. So you're actually in not a full-on bear, but you literally, you pushed the stock downward. So congratulations once again. No matter what, it just seems like you don't know what you're talking about. So maybe you're the shill here. But back to this other question of, is GME going to go up or down today? I do have the answer to that, and I have the answer to that right here. Obviously, if it lands on red, it's going to be going down today. If it lands on black, it will be in the black today. It'll be green. It will be going up. So this is 100% accurate. This is the magic wheel of destiny. No matter what, this is 100% accurate every single trading day, and there is no contradiction to it. So if you want to know if GME is going to have a green day or a red day, the answer is going to be right here. We're going to find out in 3, 2, 1. Let's see. We're going to find out right about... Ooh. For all the GME bulls in here, I am sorry to report, but it is actually going to be a red day. Not necessarily commenting on tomorrow. Tomorrow might be a better day, but for today, Tuesday, June 4th, it is pretty much written in the cosmos that it is actually going to be a red day. So I don't know if I'd be buying at open today, because it's, like I said, it's pretty much guaranteed that's going to be a red day. So you might want to return tomorrow to see if the results are going to be any better. All right, you guys ready? Best of 3. All right, maybe we'll come back to it, do a best of 3 situation. But anyway, the SPY vomited, bounced, vomited, trying to bounce again. Same situation with the Qs. The GME gained 21% yesterday, but it was all because of an overnight pre-market gap up, and then it kind of bled all day. And right now in pre-market trading, it's down an additional 4%. And then Tesla, I had it up because I thought I saw an interesting opportunity, but that's even getting hit in pre-market. So we have a lot to chit chat about. Elon Musk ordered NVIDIA to ship thousands of AI chips reserved for Tesla to X and XAI. Ooh. Stock futures fall as sluggish start to June trading continues. I do want to remind everyone from the seasonality perspective, June is a choppy month. It's bullish at first, then it's bearish, then it's bullish, then it's even more bearish. And at the very end of the month, that's when we kickstart a very strong seasonally bullish cycle from the end of June to the entire end of July. So June itself, think choppy, bearish at the end, and then right at the conclusion of the month is kind of the classic seasonal turning point for a very, very bullish July. So obviously the main market stock trading degenerate story of the day is Roaring Kitty, aka Deep Effing Value, aka Keith Gill, the guy who really started this all back in, well, you could argue 2019, but it really gained steam in 2021. Roaring Kitty post seems to show trader held onto giant GameStop stake after Monday's rally. So we knew as of Sunday evening, 5 million shares, 120,000 call options. If he were to exercise this, the 120,000 call options, that would cost $240 million. The account itself right now is in the realm of 200 to 300 million. It kind of depends where we're going to open up. So I want to talk about it, but I also want to talk about how E-Trade is apparently holding internal talks about whether to ban him from the platform, which is fascinating. So I want to jump into that. But before we do, just in terms of other important things going on, excuse me. We know Trump recently found guilty on 34 different felony counts. This, for whatever reason, had the backfire effect of just making Trump more popular than he's ever been. And apparently in the month of May, the campaign raised $141 million. $141 million in a single month. If you compare apples to apples of how much money the Biden campaign is raising, it's actually not even close. So not only socially did this hush money trial push him into a new level of popularity, financially, you could argue the same thing. But luckily for us, that's not the only politically related, politically motivated case going on. Jury picked in Hunter Biden federal gun trial. A full jury has been impaneled in the federal criminal gun trial of Joe Biden, the president's son, Hunter Biden. 12 jurors and 4 alternates were sworn in on the same day that the trial proceedings began in the U.S. District Court in Delaware. Hunter Biden faces 3 counts connected to his purchase and possession of a Colt Cobra revolver while he was addicted to drugs. Generally never a good combo, never a good combo. And right away, people are pointing out some interesting aspects in the current jury selection that we actually also similarly saw in Trump's jury selection. Basically, in all these politically related jury selections, it seems like there's a a lot of bias going on.
News reports one juror's childhood best friend died from a heroin overdose. Another juror has an alcoholic brother-in-law. He called it a disease. Brother-in-law is now dead. One juror's dad was shot dead, and his brother was arrested for narcotics possession. Another juror pled guilty to a DUI. Another juror had an older brother addicted to PCP and heroin, but doesn't think people should own guns if they're addicted to drugs. Although another juror says weed's no big deal and you should be able to buy a gun on it. And another juror worked for the Secret Service. Her husband still in the Secret Service. Ashley Biden reportedly smiling when she heard that. Oh, and there's an Obama donor as an alternate. News reports one.
So that's some of the jury, obviously. I mean, that's a big part of any trials. How good are you at selecting the panel? So obviously you're going to try to get people who are the most biased to you. That's really, as a lawyer, definitely just doing your job. All right, let's talk a little bit about the market. So today, the big thing going down today is at 10 a.m., as in 30 minutes into the trading day. Do not be surprised if there is a jolt of volatility due to the JOLTS job openings report. The line in the sand right now is 8.37 million. So at 10 a.m., 30 minutes into the trading day, we're definitely going to be paying attention to the overall market to know what in the world is or isn't going down. Then tomorrow at 8:15, we get the ADP non-farm employment change and some ISM numbers. Crude oil might be interesting this time around just because oil is dipping pretty hard. We know Biden is dipping once again into the SPR, the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, to flood the market to ideally lower gas prices for the holiday summer travel season. Obviously, another bid to make people happy in hopes that they will vote for him. Thursday, we're going to get the ECB interest rate decision, similar to our FOMC, our Fed. That's what the ECB is for Europe. And then they're going to be having a press conference later on Thursday. And then Friday, we get the unemployment report, another highly volatile event. Bad economic news has been good for the stocks, but that could change this week. So for about, a year and a half, 2 years now, I've been telling everyone that we live in the upside down. Bad economic reports have been good for the market. And the reason that is because what the Fed is doing, the people who are in control of basically our money supply, our financial health, have been like, oh, wow, inflation's really bad, so we need to fight inflation. One of the major ways you can fight inflation is by lowering demand. So any sign that was in some way representative of, oh, maybe demand is being lowered, well, that was actually good for the stock market because everyone was interpreting it as, oh, okay, that's what the Fed wants to happen because they're fighting inflation. So whenever we saw bad unemployment numbers, as in more unemployment or weak retail sales, these were all different signs that demand is waning, i.e. maybe we're getting a grapple on inflation. Now, obviously, that's because of the current phase of monetary policy. And it's not always going to be true. We kind of ebb and flow of are bad economic signs good or bad for the stock market and vice versa. It depends what's going on in monetary policy. And the reason that they're arguing it could be switching soon is because, we might be at a point where we know that the Fed's jacked up the Fed fund rate to 5.25%. We've been sitting there for a while. We're looking at the inflation reports. We just might be at the top of, a cycle peak where we start to go the other way where, okay, inflation's coming down, but we're starting to see damage elsewhere in the economy. And we're going to talk about this a little bit later today. But just yesterday, we got some information that from the Fed that I believe 63 different banks are in danger of becoming insolvent. This was all breaking news as of yesterday. Absolutely wild. So we might get back into more, what you would refer to as a logical surface level of, good economic signs, good for the stock market, bad economic signs, bad for the stock market. That hasn't been true for about a year and a half, but eventually we are going to go back. Obviously, I do want to talk a little bit about not just the overall economy and the overall stock market, but what's happening on individual stocks. Just so you know, after the market closes today, CrowdStrike is reporting, Hewlett Packard. We're still in earnings season, but I don't know if people really care that much about these individual stocks. We have Dollar Tree, Lululemon, ChargePoint, Neo, DocuSign. The big one this morning was Bath & Body Works, which is getting its teeth kicked in now due to their earnings. Not so good, but pretty much we are done with earnings season. We'll take a beat for a couple weeks and then we're going to restart a whole nother earnings season. But obviously the belle of the ball is GameStop. Folks, unless you've been sleeping under a rock, you know that GameStop, GME, Roaring Kitty, Deep F and Value, Keith Gill, that is the story of the week, potentially the month, potentially the quarter. And we're back in this really, really strange cycle where an individual person, Keith Gill, is making a ton of money. And then all of a sudden, when he's causing shorts quite a bit of pain, media and politicians and people with just talking heads, they they just say the most wild, unbased, unrealistic, illogical things. But yes, we know with GameStop going up in recent days, it's cost short sellers about $1 billion. Short sellers in danger of extinction after crushing stock gains. So it's not just GME right now. The market's up. You have other plays like NVIDIA. There's a lot of stocks that are rippity, skippity, doodah, and the people who've been betting against it have been not doing well. So let's focus in on one. Roaring Kitty post seems to show that the trader held on to giant GameStop stake after Monday's rally. So after the market closed on Monday, Deep F and Value, Roaring Kitty, Keith Gill, all one in the same. He once again posted his position that is above my head right now. As you can see, he owns 5 million shares of GameStop, and he's in about $21 and some change. He also has 120,000 call options, which would represent, if he does exercise them all, another 12 million shares. So yesterday's gain alone was just below $80 million. 24 million from the stock, 54 million from the actual call option. So he's up quite a bit. The fact that he held on to it, I mean, yesterday we were real time monitoring the GameStop, the GME options market, and we saw someone dumping calls, but apparently it was not him. Unless this is photoshopped, I have no idea, but I'm going to take this at what it's worth. And right now the account is worth $290 million. Assuming all of this money is his, and yes, some people are starting to speculate that maybe he does or doesn't have backers, but I'm just going to assume it's all his. He's actually now worth more than Pelosi, which I think deserves a round of applause. I truly, truly do. And this story in itself of another saga of him taking on shorts, taking on Wall Street, taking on the elite is crazy in itself. But yesterday, it got even more nuts. Breaking news. E-Trade is considering removing the trader known as Roaring Kitty from its platform over concerns about possible manipulation of GameStop stock. What? First of all, he's not out there telling anyone to buy or sell or do anything. He posted memes and he posted his own position. That's it. He has not had a public facing discussion whatsoever. He's just, hey, this in America, you have freedom of speech. You can show your position off. And maybe you want to get into the nuances of this, that. But in my mind, if you're going to talk about if this is manipulation, in my humble opinion, there are much more egregious things going on in this world related to the stock market than what's going on with Roaring Kitty. It very much seems like the people who are insulated with power and money and connection just don't like this because one guy is all of a sudden putting that at risk for them. And to better articulate and to better show off what I'm talking about is if you have an issue with this, and maybe we could talk about it, but it seems like there's a million other things to talk about before you get to that level of alleged manipulation. And even here, the fans are being flamed by Citron Research. Breaking, Citron Research says Roaring Kitty's GameStop GME trades are appearing more like manipulation without a solid thesis. First of all, there's no rule. There's no requirement that you have to have a solid thesis. That is opinionated. There are people who invest on the moon cycle. And even though I don't think that is a solid thesis, if they do and it's making them money, or if they just like it, that's a solid thesis to them. Solid thesis is not a law. It's not a regulation. That is the silliest thing ever. It's just if you have a strong enough opinion to put your money where your mouth is on a bullish or a bearish position, have at it. That's what a free market is. They also believe that someone is financially backing Roaring Kitty. Might be true, might not be true. I don't know. Citron says that his reported finances don't support this trade. Is Citron Research right this time? We'll find out. Last time, I mean, they're obviously going to be salty because last time they took a 100% loss. But once again, if we're getting into this world of is it manipulation, is it not manipulation? Like I said, I can name a gazillion trades that seem more questionable and more worthwhile for us to discuss of is that above or below board than what Roaring Kitty is doing. Imagine having an issue with the roaring kitty, but not our politicians and their trades. And you might be thinking, hey, that's an easy David versus Goliath populist speaking point of, yeah, our politicians shouldn't be doing. Folks, these are some recent politician trades. These are like, I'm not cherry picking the best ones in history. I'm talking about like some of the most recent three. Number one, Tommy Tuberville, one of my favorite political insider traders. This is a dude who was a college football coach, wasn't even worth $1 million when he became a senator, and now he's worth millions and millions and millions of dollars. We've seen him day trading corn futures, and then you do research on him, he sits on the ag committee. That's Tommy Tuberville. Are you kidding me? And obviously I'm talking about the corn futures just because that's one that I find to be like particularly hilarious. But he invested in an unknown stock, Humusite, ticker symbol HUMA. This stock that no one knows of is testing their tech on Ukrainian soldiers for treating combat injuries. He's sitting on the Armed Services Committee. Are you kidding me? And of course, it's up a ton. He's making a ton of money, but he's not the only one. Like I said, I'm not cherry picking. These are just some recent political trades. Earlier this year, we had right here, Josh Gothenheimer, career politician, doesn't know anything about biotech, pharmaceuticals, medical supplies. He's not in that world. He's a career politician, and yet he's crushing it with a 100% gain on, once again, a know-nothing pharmaceutical company, and it doesn't end there. Right here. Senator Thomas Carpenter, this is a new one, Occidental, OXY. Carper is the chairman of the Senate Committee on the Environment, and his wife is trading what's going on with oil. Occidental recently bought a carbon capture startup for $1.1 billion in order to sell carbon removal credits. Are you kidding me? Does no one see the connections here? And this, I think, to anyone logically thinking about it, excluding Pelosi, would say, oh, okay, maybe the people who are in the know, making decisions, are talking to the lobbyists, are talking to the companies, clearly have insider information, as in, if we traded on the stuff that they had, we'd be in jail. But for them, they're just lining their pockets, they're just growing their bank account. And all of a sudden, this is happening. It's been happening. And then Roaring Kitty, a random dude from Massachusetts, finally makes a crazy good call on GameStop. And they're like, well, that's manipulation. And like I said, if you want to have that discussion, you can have it, but there's way more impactful, way more egregious things. Roaring Kitty's a random dude who's doing his thing. These are people who took an oath to serve you, to serve me, to serve their constituents, and all of a sudden it's completely fine if they're doing it. How are there possibly people in this world who are mad at Roaring Kitty and not mad at politicians? It does not make sense. Very, very quickly, speaking of politicians, one of the most common questions I get is, how can you copy their trades? The easiest place to do it is Streepy. It's pinned to the top of chat. It's in the description of the video. If you use the code Matt, you'll get $10 for just signing up. This is a non-payment for order flow brokerage, and they have pre-built trading strategies, one of which allows you to mimic politicians. You just select how much money you want to put into it, and then you yourself will be copying politicians. It's one of my favorites. I've been doing it for almost a year now, and obviously, surprise, surprise, it's up money. Now, before things get going, I just want to give you an update on where GME's numbers are. As of market close yesterday, GME short interest 18.4%, cost to borrow very low of 2.75, utilization around 64. To clarify how these numbers compare to 2021 when GameStop went absolutely crazy, at that point, the short interest was 100 percentage points higher, as in it was 120%. At one point, it actually got up to 140. The cost to borrow, sky high, hundreds of percent. Utilization maxed out at 100. So right now, does this have some of the ingredients for a crazy move? Yes, but on a relative basis, very, very different than what we saw last time around. Now, talking about this, and a lot of people especially are getting attracted to the market with the craziness because it's a culturally relevant story. And then we start to see crazy things of circuit breaker halts, and people are like, oh, I didn't even know you could stop trading a stock. And yes, you have limit up, you have limit down rules. There are various rules, but then sometimes things happen that clearly shouldn't be happening. And that's exactly what we saw yesterday. The New York Stock Exchange fixes issues that showed 99% drops, triggered trading halts. So Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett, Berkshire A, was down 99%. The Bank of Montreal down 99%. At one point this past week, the S&P 500, the SPY, not trading. So there are things that maybe are surprising to new people, but the way the market's run, it's actually how it's running. And that's referring to circuit breaker halts. But then also to these new people, they're like, well, hang on, I'm seeing 99% drops. Please understand that some of that stuff is absolutely crazy, shouldn't be happening. And if you ask me, something a little funky is going on. So I just wanted to break it down now of the current state of GameStop. Allegedly, Roaring Kitty is still fully in his position, account worth almost $300 million. The shorts betting against GameStop, such as Citron Research, are safe to say that they're pretty big mad. And the fact that people are possibly bringing up the word manipulation around Roaring Kitty, and like I said, and I want to make it very clear, I'm happy to have that conversation, but I'll have that conversation after we talk about all these other egregious things going on. Fed members have been caught trading. Politicians have been caught trading. We've had federal judges presiding over a case related to a company and they're actively trading that stock. So before we talk about these individuals, I want to talk about some of these other people who maybe it's just a bit more egregious. So with all that being said, yes, GameStop still has some interesting numbers, the underlying market structure. I think it's a strong momentum play. To me, in my humble opinion, just my opinion, I don't think it's an investment. I think money can be made to the upside. I think money can be made to the downside. But the takeaway here for everyone, I would strongly argue, is you got to do what's best for you. Your job is to make money. Your job is to pay your bills. So please keep that in mind. Ride the trend as long as the trend is intact. And if you think the trend's over, okay, take your money and move on to the next play. I know the market's about to open. I just want to remind everyone, sign up for the newsletter, mattkohrs.locals.com. It's in the description of the video. It's 100% free. You'll never have to pay for this ever. I give you all the macroeconomic events. Please remember at 10 a.m. today, we got some craziness going down. I give you all the earnings. And I just want to let everyone know today, Tuesday, June 4th, this is one of the most bullish individual days of the entire year. This is the equity curve of hypothetically what would it look like if you bought at open, sold at close on the S&P 500 futures market. Today, Tuesday, June the 4th, one of the most seasonally bullish days of the entire year. Over the past 25 years, the Bulls have won it 80%. So 4 out of every 5 years, the Bulls have won this day. Now, is that a guarantee? No, right here, I'm telling you the odds are 80%. So I just want to let you know about that. And then with talking about odds and statistics, yesterday, I blew out by 5.3K. It sucked. Piper still hit on both the SPY and the Q put credit spread, but I got tilted and I started chasing and I started doing really, really stupid things. But anyway, this is all in the Discord. If you want to sign up for the Discord, the link is in the description of the video and my mods will drop it in chat. And with that being said, dingity ding, ding, ding. The world's largest casino is open. Let's see what we can do today. Let's see. Please do not forget that yes, we are having a big announcement at 10 a.m. The JOLTS job report, very important, very influential. And I want to see what in the world is going on. I do have the options analysis tool up right here. Shout out to Spot Gamma. We're kind of going flat. Obviously, I just want a little bit more data to come through. And I also want to, where are we at? 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 Well, that doesn't seem the most correct. Let's go to the 1 minute chart here. Okay, I traded a little bit this morning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different accounts, and then the
Order
other.
submitted.
Hello?
Target filled. Target filled.
Okay, I guess we're trading there. Apparently just locked in a quick 225 on that one. This is NQ, which is the futures market. It's the NASDAQ futures market, just so everyone knows what you're looking at on the screen. NQ is for the NASDAQ and ES is for the S&P 500. GME catching a bit of a bid. Tesla making a bit of a recovery itself. Okie dokies. 5 minute bullish, 30 minute trying to go from bearish to bullish, and then also the 10 minute trying to go from bearish to bullish on the ES contract. Similar situation on the NASDAQ. 5 minute bullish, 10 minute bullish, 30 minute actually a bit stronger, trying on the top side of the cloud, try to switch it from bearish to bullish. So the Q's a little bit more strength, but let's see how crazy today gets. Now, hang on, where are we at? I have a lot of moving parts this morning. A lot of moving parts. Looks like we've successfully executed one trade. I do want to do a bit of an options trade where it could drop another 50 cents at 26. I'm just trying to be smart here. And I want to do, especially after yesterday, I was a big dum-dum. I did dumb stuff that I shouldn't have. I did dumb stuff, and now I'm in recovery mode, if you will. I'm in recovery mode. Or do I just let it fly now? Do I let it fly now? Oops. Do I let this fly? What do I want to do? How are you guys feeling? Are you guys bullish or bearish on the day? Bullish or bearish on the day? Bitcoin's trying to hold its breakout. Are you feeling, I mean, for those of you who need to look at the daily chart, we dip back down in the cloud. We dip back down. Right now, it's an inside bar. Technically, yesterday was an up range day, but the close was below the open. So that's always a little bit confusing. Do I just let it rip is the question. Do I just let it rip? What do I want to do? Oh, I have some positions that I'm in on public. GME's dipping a little bit. GME down 7% on the day. GME's over here. It's in the top right of your screen. Tesla, back to break even. Pre-market, a little bit of action. Coin slightly in the green. Nvidia slightly in the green. Bitcoin slightly in the green. Other than, crypto's in the green today. And bonds are actually having a decent day as well. All right. What are you feeling? Let it rip? GME ain't ripping. Right now, it's not. Definitely not. If you guys want, we can monitor the options market for GME. I think at a certain point, we're going to end up seeing the very notable impact of Roaring Kitty dumping his calls. Remember, when you buy calls, the people who sold you calls, the market maker, has to hedge by buying stock. Well, that means when you sell your calls, when you exit the position, they unhedge. So they go from buying stock, which they used to hedge, to now selling it. So remember, when they sell whoa, we are dipping. We are dipping. Okay. All right. What are we doing now? Right here to this EMA line. The 30-minute getting rejected pretty hard, as you can see, but we might be at some support right here. We might be at a little bit of support. The 5 and the 10 potentially finding support. The 30-minute potential rejection. The 5-minute and the 10-minute on NQ right at support. The 30-minute, once again, a potential rejection. So it doesn't seem like any strong decisions have been made yet today. Obviously, the market opened a bit of a down range, a movement, if you will. Same thing on GME. GME options are getting unloaded. What are they doing? People are selling calls. We have some calls being sold on GME. That's what the orange and the green line going down are. The two blue lines are for puts, so no one's really messing around with puts. Puts are flat on GME. It's people unloading calls. And remember, unloading calls has a bearish effect because when it comes to the world of trading options, options are a single dealer market, as in you're only dealing with market makers. You're not dealing with other players like a bank, a hedge fund, or someone like you're like another retail trader. When you buy or sell, you're buying or selling to a market maker. That's not necessarily true with stocks. It is only true, it is exclusively true all of the time when it comes to options. You are only playing against market makers. It's true most of the time with stocks, but there are other ways on lit exchanges and whatnot that you could play against other players beyond market makers. So anyway, that's why it's such a big deal, is because if people are selling calls, well, the market makers who hedged by buying stock, well, when you sell calls, they unhedge, as in start selling stock. So it starts to push it down. All right. Starts to push it down. Where are we at? What the fuck? What the fuck? What are we doing here? Are we going to bounce up? Ken Griffin himself is hitting the sell button. Not exactly how it works. What if Roaring Kitty starts exercising instead? He you have to have for him to exercise his full position, he'd have to have $240 million. That's a lot of cash. That's a lot of cash. So the chances of him having that money is low. It's not impossible. But even then, it would not be bullish. It wouldn't be bearish. It would just be neutral. And even then, he would have 17 million. So you would expect him to sell a bit, even if it's for taxes or just to lower his risk. So no matter what, I think when it comes to the world of Roaring Kitty's options, it's either clear selling pressure or only a little bit of selling pressure. But in no world do I see it being bullish. For him to either exercise or to get out in some form of another, I think there's going to be a bit of downward pressure. Now, obviously, the question is, what is that selling pressure like relative to the buying pressure? Completely different situation. Completely different situation, because even if he presents X amount of selling pressure, well, if there's more buying pressure, it doesn't matter. It's always the relative amount to each other. Matt, is there a way to know when the majority of shorts on a particular stock are due? That's not how shorts work. Shorts are never due. They can be called back if there's a lot of people who was loaning out their shorts and they want to sell, but there's not like a due date on shorts. If you have something that has healthy utilization and is very liquid, you could just, as long as you're paying the cost to borrow, you can just keep it. But there's no such thing as like a clear-cut due date on shorts. That's not how shorting works. It can go up, down, or sideways. I think those would be the three major options for the day. I agree with that. They can expire as in your contract. Shorts? No, that's not how shorts work. Shorts don't expire. You're thinking of a derivative. You're thinking of whatever calls or puts. Even futures have an end date. That's a contract where the contract ends at a certain date. That's not how shorts work. That's not how shorts work. All right. We're almost doing something. We're almost doing something, as they say. Are we going to pop from here? Are we finding a little bit of a rally, or is this about to puke? Is this about to puke? All right, a little bit of a dip. So the Qs, did they hit their close from yesterday? Pretty much to a cent. So both the SPY and the Qs opened up decently, came down, started to bounce. What I'm watching is just the support on the 5-minute and the 10-minute for both ES and NQ. Obviously, clear support at 5 and 10. And I'm curious if the 30-minute is the first 30-minute, which we'll know the results of in 20 minutes or 19 minutes. I'm curious if it's going to close above or below these clouds. So patience.
Order submitted.
Patience. Hello? Order submitted? From who? From what?
Target filled.
Okay, I'll take it. 253. 253. Oh, this is the specialty one that I've been working on for a bit. Okay, this one, generally when I'm trading, I try to do
Order
one
filled.
quality trade
Target
per day.
filled.
But this one, I let it go a little bit more crazy to see how I could do. Right here, this one right here, 253. This is allowed to trade multiple times, and I kind of just tend to turn it off when I'm happy with the current gains on it. 253. So I'm on 253 so we can watch it. Currently, this one is getting a little bit messed up. Looks like it's down net one. I don't know. I kind of wanted to see how it would stand the test against a report, and obviously that JOLTS job report comes out in about 15 minutes. So I'm curious how it's going to do. So right here, it's this highlighted one. I guess I can move this over so you can see it a bit more. It's this highlighted one. JOLTS job report. I'll keep it up just so we can monitor it. I'm kind of in the middle of testing this strategy out, so it might need some time. I was running it a little bit yesterday. How is this 250? 53 was the account, right? Huh. Doesn't really seem to be behaving the way I thought it would. That's odd. Hey, that's odd. Hey, that doesn't make sense. It very much should have sold one of the two. So that's interesting. I guess if it goes up 500, I'm just going to take the money because I'm pretty sure, well, I know it is because I coded it. Pretty sure it should have unloaded one of the two. Interesting. What did I do wrong? What did I...
Order filled.
Yeah, no, this one should have been...
Order filled.
All right. So it just took a loss. Something was up there, but I'm turning it back on and something just got a little bit funky. And why did that happen? Because it thought it got out. It just didn't execute the order properly. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But currently down 300. So let's see if this thing can dig itself out of a hole. A testament to its potential strength. All right. I also want to know, I'm playing this level. I want to play up to 527.77, which is yesterday's close. That is a target of mine today. 527.77, a target. Let's see. Did that alert turn on? I think so. Okay, SPY not doing much. GME, decent recovery. Let's see what's going on. See how calls got sold, and now people are buying calls back, and they're actually dumping some of their puts. Once again, this is for GameStop. In real time, calls are being purchased this Friday, and then all expiration together, and some puts are being closed out. And then if you look at what's going on with the SPY, flat. There was recently just a jolt to the upside, but overall the trend is pretty much flat. I would assume most people are just waiting for this JOLTS report. So I wouldn't be surprised if we're seeing massive bets on the overall market before we have that information. Is there any other big mover? What do you guys want in the bottom right here? I'm taking suggestions, if you will. What do you want in the bottom right here? Right here. Let's set up some alerts. Breakdowns, breakouts. Let's know what's going on. Meta? What's Meta doing? Is Meta doing anything? No, it's not really doing anything. I was looking for something that's like interesting, moving. Amazon.
Order submitted. Target filled.
This doesn't seem right. So it made a little bit of money because it was down like just over 300. But now, I don't get it. The entry actually makes sense. No, I think we're good. Okay, I think I misspoke. I think this is now doing what it's supposed to be doing. Oh, I wish it were up $200 and not down $200, but here, I'm feeling good about this trade. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling optimistic, if you will. Feeling optimistic as long as we can just keep pumping. Remember, it's trading on the NASDAQ, so it's going to be much more similar to this chart in the bottom left. Apple is getting brutalized this morning. Options are starting to pick up into this JOLTS report on the SPY. Once again, for GME, calls
order filled.
What are we doing? Nope, now it's down 400. All right, not the best start to the day. Not the best start, I'm going to be honest with you. But I only need one good trade to make this worth it. One good trade, and we could go massively in the green. Okay, where else are we at? Yeah, we are just barcoding, folks. Nothing going on right now. I strongly believe the party's going to start after 10 a.m. I think we're just going to kind of do whatever up until that announcement. Just to remind everyone of what's happening at 10 a.m. right here, JOLTS job openings. It comes out at 10 in the morning. The forecast, the line in the sand is 8.37 million. I did make sure to double check this morning. But if you look at the Treasury, this is where we know if there's like auctions or anything like that. There is one today that already came out, or no, it didn't come out yet. I think it's 11 or maybe 11:30. The 42-day bond auction, not the most impactful one. Most people care about the larger ones, the 3-year, the 10-year, the 30-year. So that's all kind of going down next week. So in terms of bonds and bond auctions this week, I don't think there's going to be ones that have like such a clear, concise impact on the market. I think what's going to matter is some of these other reports. Ooh, and we're pumping. Like I said, the level I'm playing is up here, 5283. 5283. I want to make it explicitly known. I am playing 5283. I sold some put premium. I'm playing it up to that level. What? Are we really trading this again? Is this the... Okay, I want to do this one instead. I like this chart a little bit better. So is this working?
Target filled.
All right, that's exact. Okay, it's back to where it should be. Now it's only down 350. We're tracking this one on the day. See, I call this one the stop and run? What did I name this? The scalp and run. Because the whole concept of it is to take a little bit of profit right away and then see if you can catch a runner. See, basically, if you could go efficient. So it's basically locking in some bait and then you're going for the white whale. The great white shark, if you will. So it's the scalp and
Order
run,
filled.
and the run just got smacked. So now we're down 585. Not the best start. Getting a little bit chopped up. Trust me, plug will boom in June. Yeah, you don't need to spam it. No one really cares about your like shitty EV. Like no one cares about it. It's cool. You can honestly stop spamming that. You're not going to convince anyone that your really, really crappy EV play is somehow good. It's all good. You're not going to bamboozle anyone about it. All good, man. FFIE, also dog shit. Also a high quality dog shit play. I don't know how people got tricked into this one. Like, I don't know who in their right mind ever thought this was a good play. Yeah, I don't. FFIE, someone said plug isn't an EV play. Electronic technology? Electronic production? What? You
Order
think this,
submitted.
No, is it going to chop me up again? Oh, brother. All right. I don't know if I could take that many more losses on this. Come on, lock in the
Target
buffer.
filled.
All right, at least we locked in the buffer. Now I just need one good runner. One good runner, man. One freaking, just give me a good runner. All right, it's down 500 right now. So if this runs, what? 25 points, I'll be back to break even. So if this runs up to 18,600 and I don't know, 46, I'll be back to break even. All right, where are we at? The Q's flat, indecisive. In terms of price action, 5-minute bullish, 10-minute bullish. The 30 minutes trying to potentially convert on the NASDAQ, 5-minute bullish, 10-minute bullish. The 30-minute also trying to convert, but with a bit more confidence. So I think right now, like I said, my major play at this exact moment in terms of day trading is this upside gap fill right here to yesterday's close.
Order filled.
I just got stomped out again. How much money is this? Now it's down 700. All right, so basically every single loss, if it locks in the buffer, is another $200 loss. Fuck. That's a bit of a bummer. It's just, oh, it's chopping me up, folks. It's chopping me up. But let's see. If I could just catch a good trend on this 10 a.m. announcement, all will be well. All will be well. It's just right here I'm getting chopped. because it's trading on the NASDAQ on the bottom left. So obviously this is just Chop City right now. Chop City. You know what's going to be interesting at 10 a.m. is what happens with the dollar and what happens with bonds. So bonds are actually showing a pretty strong opening. Let's go to the 3-minute on everything. All right, patience. So the SPY returned to the intraday high, coming back a little bit now. Everyone's a little apprehensive. Matt, are you invested in GME? No, I don't think it's actually a good investment at all. Very, very different. Investing and trading are very different things. Don't conflate the two. I think GME is a good trade. I don't think it's a good investment. An investment means you're going to buy. You're more than willing to hold for decades. More like you're like, I don't care what happens. Inherently, if you care about the squeeze, you're not a GME investor at all. An investor is someone who's like, hey, I think this is going to do well in the next 10, 20, 30 years. Are you still diamond handling AMC? No, I always thought that was one of the dumbest things ever. No, I have no AMC. I have no GME. I don't have stock. I'm not long. I'm not short. I don't have calls. I don't have puts. I don't have any AMC. I don't have any GME. And my life is much better for it. You misreading GME? I'm not. I mean, I guess there's a chance that I might be, but I've also lived through this over the past how many ever years now. I've been literally like, this has been my life, is following this situation. And I mean, up to this point, calling out with the recent craziness of AMC and GME, I've been right. I don't think it's going to change anytime soon. I don't think all of a sudden something's going to happen where I'm like, oh, this is now a phenomenal investment, because it's not a phenomenal investment. Just look at their fundamentals. More so, AMC's fundamentals are far worse. AMC's fundamentals are like actually dog shit. I can see a chance in which GME actually becomes quite a bit better. I do see how that could happen, especially if it becomes a quasi hedge fund for Ryan Cohen.
Order filled.
Hello? AMC, I don't give that much chance of a survival. Dude, this one's getting eaten alive. It's just getting chopped up. I just need a trend, man. Just one good trend, then I could be back in the green. But anyway, talking about GME, we obviously know there is precedent for companies that are publicly traded that you're basically getting action within a hedge fund. That is Berkshire. So if Ryan Cohen pulls that off with GME and then just over his career, he has great investments, yes, GME could do very, very well. So if it becomes basically a caveat for Ryan Cohen investing, I could see, if he's a good investor, like, which I think he is pretty good, I could see a world in which that becomes an interesting investment, very, very similar to Berkshire Hathaway. But AMC, what metrics are good? What metrics are good at all about AMC? The box office is weakening. That's one of the biggest issues. People are just not going to movies. Quality movies aren't being made to the same magnitude as they were before. I still think there's some good movies. I still very much like movies, but relative to not that long ago, there's just a lot more movies, a lot more quality movies coming out. Furiosa got killed. It did. I actually thought it was a decent movie. I think if you're going to see it, it actually is better to see it on
filled.
The large,
Order
the
submitted.
big screen. All right, we got one. We got one there, Tonto. I think I just need to make my break-even code a bit better, because why not just set it to break-even now? Like, if you catch a runner, you catch a runner, you know? But right now, my stop...
Order submitted.
Hello? Hello? What is happening? What's happening? What's clapping? What's clapping right now?
Filled.
A little bit of weakness.
Order submitted.
I'm getting nervous going into this team. This one up, the highlighted one is the one that is like the new, I guess, idea and system that I'm working on. It got back about half the losses. So if it were to lock in right now, about half the losses would be gone. So the current losses are 665, but the current running position's up about 350. About 3. So it's making it back. Like I said, the whole concept of this is to see if it can catch a runner, and it looks like it caught a runner right now. And it looks like the stop is going to be around 18.6.
Order submitted.
What is happening? Uh-oh. Folks, there is some nervousness going into this. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Okay, it comes out in, what is that? About 2 minutes, a little over 2 minutes. XLE getting smoked. And yeah, oil is diving right now. So if you look at crude oil, the actual commodity is getting smoked.
Order submitted.
Uh-oh. 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 I am not a fan of what's happening right now, folks. All right, this stop would be 92. 92. Oh. Is it about to get stopped out?
Order filled.
Oh, that one's going to get blown. This account's going to get
Order
blown.
filled.
Did this one? Okay, did get stopped out. So this one, wait, 58. Is this a completely different strategy? What time is it? All right, we still have a minute till this report comes out. Oh, this was just a normal run-of-the-mill strategy that I like that is currently down. Well, that's a bummer. 253. Okay, but back to the one that is like currently actively trading in and out. Right here, 253. So it was down 700. Now it's down 360. So it is making back some of the losses. 253.
Order submitted.
What is this one? Okay, back to 253. Come on, lock in the buffer. Nope. We might be losing again on this one. All right. Anyway, everyone prep up because this announcement is coming out in 15 seconds. 15 seconds. I'm very, very curious if this system is good enough to catch it. It is a very rudimentary, run-of-the-mill, trend-following system, and I'm just wondering if a big trend is created, if it will properly execute upon that.
Order submitted. Order submitted. Order can't. Target filled. Target filled. Order submitted. Order filled. Target filled.
Well, the answer to that was a hard freaking no, dude. Did you see how quickly that got blown out? Holy shit.
Order filled.
Did not survive that team.
Order canceled. Order filled.
Did not survive that whatsoever. All right. Lesson learned. You cannot run that in such a look at this 5K or 3K, 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 3K. All right. That, how many accounts did I lose? 1, 2, 3, 4 accounts lost. Remember, PA is the actual ones. Apex is the challenge one. So I was playing the challenge. So even though I lost 1, 2, 3, 4, I got them back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I actually have a net 1 back. Holy shit. Well, lesson learned. That was wild. Apparently, it can't trade that quickly. Apparently, the data feed is a bit slow in the management. Holy crap. You're down 40K. What? Where did you get them down 40K? The Apex ones don't count. What matters is the PA ones. This is just very specific to, I guess, futures trading. So maybe that's why people are a bit confused. But no, things are still A-okay. Things are still A-okay. The one that I was trading, I lost 100. Oh, we almost hit my target. Oh, I'm up money on that play. Holy shit. How much money am I up? My options play, my scalp trade, what is today? June 4th. Ooh, I'm up $1,000 on this. Fuck yeah, dude. All right. Let's take the money on that one. That bada bing, bada bang. That bada bing, bada bang. Do I think it's going to keep going? Should I just be more greedy? Who thinks it's going to push above this? I really didn't hear it get hit yet. I thought it was specifically going to hit this value, but it did on SPX. Well, that's weird. So we hit the closing value on SPX, but not the closing value on SPY. That's strange. That's very strange. A little bit of a difference there. Options flow. Options actually just started dumping into that, which makes me a little bit uneasy. Weird that SPX hit its closing value. You know what? Should I just take my money? That makes me a little bit uneasy. Makes me a little bit uneasy, team. Did it fill the gap? There's no true gap, but just in terms of like hitting the previous close, like I said, SPX did. The S&P 500 index right here, it popped above it, but SPY did not. So it's a bit interesting. So right here, you could see on my chart. So the SPY's closing value, it was a hair away, 527.77, while SPX, the closing value was right here at 5283.41. Not often that you see that much of a disagreement between the two. I was generically playing this region. All right. I'm throwing in my order. Do I want to lower it a little bit, though? That's the real question. Do I want to lower it? Well, that was a tough learned lesson that I just experienced in real time with all of you folks. Apparently, I was running it on way too small of a time frame that it couldn't handle the craziness, and literally just the order execution like wasn't fast enough to handle that expansion of volatility. Lesson learned. Lesson learned. Someone just said, Rick's on. What's our boy Rick up to? S&P 500 slips as sluggish start to June. Trading continues.
David Faber, 2 months in.
Director Kristalina Georgieva, I'll bring you some highlights from her as you've been talking to him on
The month, at least for the month of April. Always 2 months in arrears, and it came in definitely lighter than expected. We're expecting a number around 8.3 million. 8,059,000. And what's interesting here is last month's 8,488,000 gets revised down as well to 8,355,000. And whether you're looking at last month's revision or the current one, slightly above 8 million, they both comp to 3 years, basically. We're going all the way back to February 21 when it was under 8 million. That is the comp. And yields are moving lower because of the implications for the Fed and easing based on potentially a less tight labor market. Factory orders for the month of April up 0.7, near expectations, but a really big negative revision from 1.6 original to only 0.7. Factory orders ex transportation
I butchered this play.
Up 0.7, so we could see transportation orders didn't negatively affect that number. Last month, lose 0.1 from up 0.5% to only up 0.4%.
In the SPY.
Durable goods orders. Now, these are April finals, replacing mid-month reads. So the mid-month read of 0.7, 0.7%, now moves to 0.6%. Strip out transportation, lose a little bit. It remains at 0.4, 0.4, exactly as expected, exactly as the mid-month read. Now, let's look at capital good orders. Non-defense ex-air, that's a capital spending proxy, up 0.2. It lost a tenth from its mid-month of 0.3, 0.3%. And finally, switching gears from orders to shipments, they remain up 0.4%. The JOLTS numbers and the weaker than expected revisions certainly propelling yields a bit lower. And do keep in mind, we are now hovering very close to that 430 level in 10s, which really held and caused us to bounce close to 470, a very important technical area to pay close attention to. ECB Thursday, will they cut? There's many more voices that think they won't, even though German unemployment jumped in their latest reading. David Faber, back to you.
Interesting. All right. So in that announcement, bonds ripped and now are already giving it back. And then obviously yields would do the opposite. Yields, if you look at something like US 10Y, yields dropped immediately, but now fighting back. The dollar most likely dropped and now also fighting back. We're kind of right just at our opening value. Like we just very quickly returned to equilibrium. So that volatile whipsaw, which like I said, lesson for me, I played it way too close and I just got steamrolled. Your boy got steamrolled. That was painful. That was a bit painful there, team. What in the world happened? I'm going to have to do a hardcore autopsy on that one. 1, 2, 66, 65, and 67. Yeah, that, I guess, just did not give me my money. Holy crap. Holy crapola there, team. Nuts. That was painful. Very, very painful to say the least. But whatever. It's a lesson. It's a lesson. Back at 70K ding dong. 70K what? Oh, Bitcoin? How's Bitcoin doing on that? Bitcoin actually popping on that news. Is Bitcoin about to break out? Bitcoin. Breakout, consolidation. Look, dude, Bitcoin's looking good right now. Is coin going up? Coin's even catching a bid. Mara not really doing anything. Riot not really doing anything. Okay, so no, I appreciate you sharing that. Bitcoin, the classic push, downtrend, breakout, consolidation, forming a higher low, and now showing some strength. So obviously, if you're in Bitcoin, it looks like it's bullish in the short term. And then maybe a realistic way to play this is coin, whether you want the stock or options, whether you want to buy calls, you could sell puts. We could do a quick breakdown of coin to know which would be better. Implied volatility. It is cheap right now. So it would actually statistically be better to buy premium rather than selling premium for whatever directional buys you have. The term structure shows us that it is cheap. And actually some of these puts are really cheap. So there's a little bit of a call skew to the upside. What is the IV? IV, I think my big head's blocking it. Yeah, but the IV rank is 23. Where do we have key gamma strike? Let's look at the history of it. So the put walls recently moving up, call walls dropping a little bit. 235 seems to be pretty important, which we're actually above now. Huh. Is Bitcoin going to have some legs? Because if it is, I kind of want to play that. Is that crazy? Am I insane for maybe wanting to play the 250s for some time out? Do you guys like that? Like the play? Hate the play? I mean, I see Bitcoin. This could break out and go, and the risk would just be right here. Well-defined risk. If Bitcoin reverts, you cut it. If coin reverts, you just cut it. You have well-defined risk. You guys are liking that? Am I missing anything on coin? Let's go to my brokerage. Public. Coin. Trade coin options. How much time do I want to give this? June 21. June 21. The 260s. 6.6K. All right, let's see if this gets hit. Doing a little bit of a swing play here, team. I'll let you know if it gets filled. I think did it get filled already? Might have already gotten filled. It did. Okay, I already got it filled. So I have 8 coin calls for June 21st, the 260s. The thesis is I have well-defined risk at 220. The cloud is green, but more so I care about this risk being well-defined. I'm looking at the daily chart because I'm more than prepared to actually swing this play. But I am looking for the break of 240, the test to 250, and I would love for it to rip to 260. But the real thesis is that Bitcoin, I love this structure. It ripped, consolidated, broke out, consolidated again. Little bit of, I don't know, just like a clear shelf here at 67, and it's starting to push. Will it happen? I don't know, but I just like the risk to reward of it. I like the ratio, and I think these types of plays, if played properly over the long term, would pay out. So it's not a day trade by any means. Like I said, the expiration date is June 21st. So I would actually love to catch like a one to 2 week rip on it. I would love for a coin to actually explode up to 260. So just did all that on public, loving it. And we'll come back to that in a couple of days and see how it plays out. Shout out though to whoever alerted me that Bitcoin was doing its thing, because this is looking nice. Dollar up. The dollar's up and Bitcoin's up? Well, you don't say. You don't say. Qs are looking a little weak. SPY's looking weak. I am going to be beyond frustrated about this. Are you kidding me? I should have just got out when SPX hit the closing value. This was just, I suppose, maybe a little bit of greed, but maybe just a little bit of a mismatch. I'm surprised that the SPX hit its closing value from yesterday, and yet the SPY didn't. But technically, it was 2 cents away, which maybe I should have just in my mind been like, you know what, man, that is good enough. I messed that up. I should have just taken the money. But that's also the weird thing between playing a linear thing versus a non-linear thing. So obviously with options, it's like, what's it trading at? Should you go for an extra 5 cents, an extra 10 cents? So that's a bit of a pain in the ass, but here's to hoping we somehow bounce out of this. Thoughts on BTC when rates lower, or do I need a spacesuit? No, most likely when rates lower, it's going to get hit for the first 6 months. But after that, I think it's going to be good. A lot of people erroneously think that the start of them cutting rates means the market goes wild. And there is no evidence that actually historically suggests that. If you look at all the previous rate hike cycles from the 1950s until now, from the moment of the first rate cut, the market every single time has dropped at least double digits. And right now we know there's more correlation with Bitcoin with the SPY and the Qs than in an inverse manner. It's directly related to it. So for whatever reason, it is, I don't know why. I don't know why people think that the rate cuts is automatically bullish. It is bullish, but it's bullish with a weird lag, a lag of 6 months. So eventually I think it's good, but do not think that, oh, the first time we cut rates, things are going to rip. It's just not historically how things have played out at all. Uh-oh, things are dipping. Matt, can you explain this? If you buy SPY, call 0DT, does the broker have the right to automatically close it to prior market close? And their reason would be so it would get exercised? Yeah, of course. Brokers can do a lot more than just that. That happens very, very commonly, in fact. Very, very commonly. All right, so we made a fresh high at 10 and a fresh low on the day 12 minutes later. So we are range bound and choppy. Caused me a shit ton of money 3 days ago on that. It's a learning lesson. When people say, oh, you're gonna pay your market tuition, that's a part of market tuition. And I mean, it is there. They warn you, they email you. It's not like they did that by surprise, Darren. You probably got emails from them and you probably got alerts from them that they're going to close out your position. That's how, I don't know what brokerage you're specifically on, but that's what I've pretty much always seen in the past of, hey, you have an option expiring today. You need to manage it. And then there's better brokerages that they'll email you that. And then there's actually like within the brokerage, when you sign in, you're like, no, like I'm aware this is going to happen. I promise I'll handle it by the end of the day. There's like shittier brokerages that don't allow you to do it. They just like, they manage it no matter what. But the better brokerages, they make you acknowledge that you know something's on, and you basically have to say, yes, I know, I'm paying attention. Like, are you on a shitty brokerage like Robinhood or Webull or something like that? Is that the problem? Most of these retail, like facing brokerages, like meant for retail, like I said, Robinhood, Webull, they don't do what's good for you. Mine was a shitty broker. They closed it with no warnings. IBKR. No, actually, IBKR is a very strong brokerage. That's one that you can go in and say, no, I'm aware this is coming. So it sounds like you just didn't hit the toggle button. Like I've done that myself on IBKR when I used to trade on them. Now I trade on Public, but even Public has that. They make you acknowledge that you have to manage it that day. But Interactive Brokers, you definitely can do it there. That's within the people I know in Wall Street, that's actually one of the more popular brokerages. Bro, Robinhood isn't that shitty. It has a good UI. No, it's shitty. Having a good UI, it's a benefit, but that isn't the defining feature. The defining feature of a good brokerage is what are they doing in terms of supporting the clients. Right now, it's all well known that Robinhood, whenever possible, will sell all of your order flow to a market maker. That makes it a shitty brokerage, folks. If you're like, you're getting tricked. Zupchuck, if your complete argument is that it has good UI, that, I don't know, they tricked you. If you are exclusively, like, obviously I want good UI. Without a doubt, I would want good UI. But if that's your only thing, I'd be like, no, it has good UI. You got tricked. You 100% got tricked. Matt, thoughts on Shiba chart? I think it's trash. I haven't looked at the chart in a while, but I think it's trash. Looks like it popped, just consolidating. I wouldn't necessarily be bullish or bearish. I would just be waiting for the range to break. It looks like it's just stalled out, trading at 0.00002. Yeah, just another shit meme stock or meme coin. How's Doge doing? Same thing, popped, has a little bit more range, but still effectively range bound. You guys see how this is like wildly different than actual crypto? Breaking out, pushing, attempting to break out. It's just like they move completely differently. Bitcoin's still going. Is coin going to go for me? God, I want coin to go. I would love for coin to get up to the mid 240s, 250s today. That would be awesome. I agree, but I missed out on over almost a decade of gains. My positions have a cost of 57K, not the 11K I wish I had. I guess I miss what you're talking about. What is this one? I think they added the whale because I paid up to support rum. Has not positively influenced my rum long. Oh, the whale? Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think it's a donor. Like you're part of either locals or a donor on the channel, Eggman, I believe. I've never used Stash, so I can't really comment on that one. Same thing with Moomoo. I've never really heard Moomoo, but I've never used Moomoo, but I've definitely heard negative things about Moomoo. Check Zach. No, I don't want to. I don't necessarily feel the most comfortable supporting Zach Morris because he's financially hurt a lot of people. I don't know how he didn't get in trouble with their very clear pump and dump efforts in their trading group. That's all they did was they would like literally it is like public information. Like the court had this that they would all buy penny stocks, the runners of the group. They would tell everyone in the group to buy it. And as their group was buying it, they sold into them. They're pump and dumpers. So why would I ever want to support a crypto related to a dude who's like literally financially hurt thousands of people? I just think he's immoral. I really, really do. He's still doing it. Yeah, he's still going to do it because the court system said like whatever that judge was in Texas, he just seemed to not give a shit. He's like, yeah, I guess do whatever you want. Congrats. Which I think caught many people by surprise. That's another weird thing, though. That's like kind of funny about the current fight with Roaring Kitty and Citron Research and E-Trade saying it's manipulation is the fact that Atlas and Zach Morris and they got off scot-free, literally admitting that they were pump and dumping like in their own chat messages that came out in court. I mean, Roaring Kitty's never going to get in any legal trouble because he hasn't been doing anything. He just posts his position. If anything, he's being way more transparent than other people who got out. GME option chain is actually going crazy right now, Matt. Look, what do you mean it's going crazy? What? It's actually specifically doing nothing. Like, it is literally doing, like, this is actually the most boring we've seen of the options chain. What are you looking at, Cameron? GME option chain is actually going crazy. Nothing's happening. Options are flat. What are you possibly looking at? TA on Dell, I'm up 36% on the gap fill play. I would say play that gap fill. I think that's actually a really strong, well, it's actually not going up yet. Well, the way I would play it is my risk would be yesterday's low because it's a potential like actual trend reversal. So my risk would be 128. I'd be particularly excited. And that would probably be my entry is a push above 145. And then yes, I'd be playing this 165. So I wouldn't be in it yet. I'd be looking for the push in the close above 145 with my risk at the recent low and my target at 165. June 21st calls are down 71%, son. Well, yeah, because it's doing nothing and you're losing extrinsic value. But that's not the option chain going crazy. That's just math. Did Roaring Kitty get banned from E-Trade account for market manipulation? No, they were just like considering it. There were internal, I believe the verbiage was there were internal discussions being held at E-Trade of if they should ban him. I don't think he officially got banned. And honestly, I don't even know how they would handle that if you have a live position. I don't know if they can just like completely cut you off when you have a live position. They might have to, and then like, could you sue them if it costs you money? That sounds like it's getting into some pretty murky waters. E-Trade has also made no official. Yeah, I have no knowledge that he's banned at this point. All we know is that they were considering it according to an article by the Wall Street Journal. I don't think they can. Well, Lipster, with I'm sure your deep legal knowledge of brokerages. Can I look at the short interest on DJT? Yeah. It has been wonky lately. It showed it at 70% like last week, and now it's allegedly down to 10%. So I don't know what's happening. We've been seeing a lot of data issues. Right now it's reading 10.44, but recently it was at 74. 10.44 in my book seems low when the cost of borrow is 350, the utilization is 97, and it's still on the threshold list. This thing's been on the threshold list for like an entire month now. So I wouldn't be surprised if this was just another piece of erroneous data from either the NASDAQ or the New York Stock Exchange. The math ain't mathin'. I don't know how you could have this cost of borrow, this utilization, and yet the short interest is only 10%, especially when recently at the end of May it was showing 74. All right, Jamie's actually picking up and options are picking up right here. You can see the calls. People are starting to get longer dated calls. Not this Friday, some for this Friday, but people are pouring into longer dated calls. That's this orange line. The SPY flat. I guess we're just waiting. It'll be interesting if it could break above 527, the 5 minute. The 5 minute. And I would love for coin to go. Now that I'm in coin, I'm cheering this one on higher. Should we do a little bit of magnet work? unless there's something in the terms of service that allows them to police your speech, wouldn't be surprised. But then isn't that like a constitutional violation? He's an American. He has the right to free speech. It would be extraordinarily tough. I don't think a lawyer could actually prove manipulation with Warren Kitty because all he's done is posted pictures and memes. Like, we have free speech in this country. I think it would be a very, very tough legal battle. And then even if they were like right, then that would set a horrible precedent. How could you set that precedent when all this, like Jim Cramer screams, buy, 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 sell, sell, sell. This guy hasn't said shit. Like, it makes no sense. And Jim Cramer, I think, even stood up for him. Of course he did, because he knows he would be next in line. But I think Jim Cramer even stood up for him. He tweets a lot. Where is it? Right here. Nothing illegal if you buy calls and show them. Like, he's even saying, what the fuck? Like, it's so silly. Like, if E-Trade, well, we're already seeing it on Reddit. A lot of people, just on the news that they were considering it, ended up deleting their E-Trade account. Which, I mean, classic internet being the internet, but wild times, mi amigos. Wild times. Is this account, am I done trading on this account for the day? I think so. Yeah. Okay. I can shut it down. Sweet. Shutting it down. Dunzo. Yes. Wait, do I need to turn all these off? Let me turn, actually, instead of turning them off, let's just remove them. All right, cool. Yes. All right, so done with Apex, made some money there, and I think I have, judging on the accounts that went well, I believe 1, 2, 3. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I'm gonna get the payout from 6 accounts, which should be $12,000. I think 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I actually might be able to get 14K depending on, I need to double check how many trading days I have. To be able to do a payout request from Apex, you have to have 10 individual trading days. They don't have to be consecutive or anything, just 10 in total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I might be able to get 14K this week. 14K, which would make me feel much better about my 5K loss yesterday. It would make me feel far, far better about that one. I'll let you guys know. If that happens, I'll make a whole video explaining it and what I did, what I didn't do, my lessons, if I learned any lessons, this, that, the other thing. But it would be nice for this coin trade to pay. It would also, I'm back in the green on that. Working. All right, my scout play is still live, and somehow I'm back in the green. It was up 1,000, now it's only up 500. Okay, should I take the money, or am I being greedy because of yesterday? Matt, what are you doing? Matt, is this a smart trade? Are you with the trend? Are you just being greedy? Is it a mixture of the two? Is it a good trade and yet you're oversized and you're being greedy? Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. What do I do? What do I do? What's the play? What's the play? Oh, do I just take the money now and call it a nice Tuesday? Do I hang out with Piper? Should I ask Piper what to do? It could be both. It could be both. Orders, modify. I'll let you know if it hits. I think I'm doing the right play. I know statistically I am. I mean, in fact, the odds of this working out, I could give you the exact odds right now of this working out. I wrote it down. Where the fuck are my odds? What did I do? How much did we open down this morning? I need that answer. All right, so we opened down. We opened down 0.25, which means the odds of this working out are 74%. I have a 74% shot of this happening based on the past 19 years worth of data, if I'm reading my own chicken scratch properly. Nope. Yep. 71%. I have a 71%. Yeah, 71% chance of this hitting. So I'll take those odds, I guess. I'm playing with math on my side. Math on my side. This should be hitting. If it does hit, but see, that's the thing, is even though there's a 71% shot, I think a lot of people have said, hey man, it came within 2% or 2 cents. We're counting that as a hit. And you could also argue that like it already hit on SPX. So that's kind of tough. Like, does today already technically count as a success? And then I'm just screwed because I'm still in my position. Oh, that's a tough one. And of course, as we're talking about it, as we're deliberating upon it, the market is getting hit. I don't like to see that. Fuck. Oh, options are getting dumped hard right there. Come on. Just give me my money. Let's just be chill about this. Let's be chill about this. Dude, it is losing its value real quick. It was up 500. Now it's up 150, 300, 350, 600. It is all over the map. Oh, brother. What to do? Am I being a greedy little douchebag? But see, the trends to the upside, the 5-minute, the 10-minute, and the 30-minute are all above the EMA cloud. On the NASDAQ, the 5-minute, the 10-minute, the 30-minute, all above the EMA cloud. I'm on the right side of trend. The issue is this just a double top? Am I about to get caught up in a double top that causes an actual trend reversal? Or am I just being nervous because of my loss yesterday? And in all reality, this is statistically the right play and you just have to wait for it to play out. Oh, brother. I show it hitting it to the penny. You have it, your data showing 527.77? Because mine isn't at all. What would Nancy Pelosi do? Dude, she would know what's about to happen regardless. She would already know what's going down. It would be preordained, predestined for her. Why does it just ask me if I want to join those random ass calls? Did they do Trump dirty? Garland. All right, let's see what this is about. Are they going to play? Is there
Mr. Pomerantz's book. So Pomerantz writes this book, which I'm sure you're aware of, where he says, we put together the legal eagles to get Trump. We got all these folks together and we assembled them for that purpose. And so when we on the Judiciary Committee think about attacks on the judicial process, our concern is that the facts and the law aren't being followed. A target is acquired here, Trump, and then you assemble the legal talent from DOJ, Mr. Pomerantz, and you bring everybody in to get him. And meanwhile, the judge is making money on it. The judge is making money on it, or the judge's family is making money on it for stuff that you yourself wouldn't do. no one's going to buy this. No one's going to believe it. It's going to create great disruption. And I am saddened by it because, like you, I have given my life to the law. I care deeply about the law. And I think that the lawfare we've seen against
I don't know quite what they're going on about. But I almost forgot what in the world is happening. You guys did have quite a few call-ins yesterday, and I feel bad for missing them. So let's do some of these call-ins now. What is this one?
Matt, if people want to know that trading is 50-50 and 90% luck, man, somebody showed up at my house and trading futures, and I forgot I had a standing order. Went outside, walked around my yard with this guy for, I don't know, 30 minutes, came back inside, still watching your show, and I look over and realize I had a live position open, and thankfully, for whatever reason, it went short, came all the way down, and I was up $1,000, and it was just sitting there on this line. It could have went up, stopped me out. I have no idea. It's luck, okay? Just reinforcing that. Good luck, man. I hope y'all have a great day.
I don't necessarily agree with that. I do believe it's 50-50, but I don't think it's luck, because if it was luck, we wouldn't have people who over a long time span, over many years, are consistently profitable. The fact that people are consistently profitable means that there's something going on outside of the world of luck. I think on any given day, for any given what's the next bar, is it green, is it red, whatever time frame you're on, I think that prediction is luck. But I think there's certain situations where the risk reward is favorable, where if you take that trade over the long term with like proper Kelly criterion, you would be good.
What's up, Moon Gang? It's Nick, a.k.a. Dom. Been gone, locked up behind bars. Got out today. It was to protect my family. I did the right thing. Did I miss anything fun? Any crazy action? Let me know. Peace out. Let's go, Moon Gang.
I think every single sentence in that statement took me for a different turn than I thought we were going on.
Hey, Matt, thank you for preaching the good word of selling GME and not diamond handing. I've had my stocks for the last 3 years. I thought they were fucking worthless. I got caught holding the bag, and now I'm getting a second chance at life. This money could change everything for me, and I thought I had lost it all. Nice. I ain't sitting down. I ain't diamond handing. I'm making that fucking money. I'm a greedy little piggy, and I want my fucking tendies.
Sound like he decided to motorboat someone at the end.
Oh, Matt. Stash Diamond here, formerly known as Diamond Dick, formerly known as Reflections. And my question is, at what point did you get bought? Mm-hmm. At what point did you sell your likeness to whoever it is owns you now to control what you say? I just want to know, man, because I know that you started this to be just like Roaring Kitty, because Roaring Kitty inspired everybody just like you. But unlike Roaring Kitty, you guys, I mean, you're only really in it for the money, and as soon as somebody came with that bag, you're singing whatever they have to say. Take care, Matt.
Is it cool if I answer your question with a question? What's it like having to wear a helmet 24/7? Like, is that tough? Like, do the straps start to hurt your jaw? Does it mess up your hair? What's your hair schedule like? Like, is it tough that no matter what you do, you have to think, oh, before I go outside, I have to have my helmet on? Is that like a tough way to live life? Is it an easy way? Do you just get used to it? Was it tough growing up that like, oh, like, so like for me, when I grew up every single school year, fortunately, I was like, oh, I get a new like backpack, or I get a new pair of shoes or something like that. When you're growing up as like a helmet wearer, do you get a new helmet every year? Like, and also on top of that, like if you're into a new cartoon or a new show or something along those lines, do you get the helmet styled in that way? Like if one year, I don't know, you're really into Batman, did you have a Batman helmet? And then like, I don't know, like now as an adult, are you wearing, I don't know, like a drag helmet? Like I'm just so curious what it's like as like a long-term helmet wearer. I would love if you could let me know how that goes. And then I think at that point we'd kind of have each other's answer.
Hey, fam. As the warrior poet Steve Miller once said, go on, take the money and run. Hashtag everybody in the meme stocks.
Take the money and run.
GME to the moon! Oh, let's pump it up. Let's pump it up. Pump, 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 and dump. Yeah, it's probably going to be another pump and dump. What do you think?
Of course
it
is.
Well, like 2 days. Do you think this one's going to go as long as 2021, or it's going to be like the one in May? What do you think? What do you think,
Less.
Matt, I need your opinion.
I think
Should we pump it? Should we pump it?
I'll wait till the end. I don't want to be
When
rude.
do you expect that crash to happen? Oh, this is exciting news, exciting news.
Good. I think the duration of this particular saga will be less in terms of time. And my reasoning for that is because last time around, Fed fund rates were at 0, people were getting stimulus checks, and we were stuck inside. So, and on top of that, the short interest was higher, and there was more excitement around it, probably because of all these other things. So it's just less people are interested in it this time around. And I think there's also a big financial difference of the fact that the short interest isn't maxed out, people aren't locked inside, and people aren't getting stimulus checks anymore. I think that's going to have a measurable impact.
Matt, love the show. Lost a pile of money a few years ago in the AMC stuff, but just curious if you would have gotten out, would your life be any different right now? G-Man.
If I got out probably when I should have, I would be my net financial difference, I'd probably be ahead by $1 million instead of down by 600K. So I would probably cry a lot less in the shower. I think looking back on it, I would be more respected by the internet because people respect people who have proper call outs. In the short term, people don't like you. Like, so for example, right now, all the people who are quote unquote like hardcore, like GME diamond handers, they don't like me right now because I'm saying something that they don't agree with. But in the long term, when you end up being the person who's right, people do respect you. Liking you and respecting you are not the same thing. I'm not necessarily in this game to be liked. I'm in this game to like truly do whatever I can to ideally make your financial situation a bit better, which in the world of markets, people's financial situations are better if your predictions end up being right. I'm not really here for like the lie that makes everyone feel comfortable. I'm here for sometimes the painful truth. So I think if I was, if I sold everything, was honest and shared my thoughts about like Adam Aaron on all of that, like when it was all happening, I think if I had more balls and just cut my position, shorted it, made money, I think I would have more respect. And now people think I'm a shill and a sellout anyway, and I don't have the money. So it's kind of like the worst of both worlds. No, not potential profit, like truly down. I don't know where you're getting potential profit. I would have been up a net about $1 million, and then who knows how much I would have been up if I actually shorted it as well. But instead of being up maybe 700K, instead I'm down like actually 650, like legitimately down. Yeah, no, it's a brutal one for sure.
I don't understand what's wrong with you guys. Don't you guys understand that he's bringing so much value to us? And it doesn't matter if he's doing it for money. We all have to do it for money. We're not doing this for fun. We're not all losing money for fun. We're not all trying to try different things for fun. He's teaching us. A lot of the stuff is free. I'm trying to get into the Discord, but it's not allowing me. Something's wrong. I'll wait for Matt's response. On Discord or wherever, but stop. Why you guys are strange, man. I don't know if I can curse or not, but let this man do whatever he's doing. He's helping us. I don't see any other woman on here doing the same thing. Okay, you bunch of turds. Thanks, Matt. You're the greatest.
I think I was up for you with you for that last second. Then wait, did it just become sexist? I don't see any women doing this. This is a man's job. I think I get the sentiment of where you're going, and I truly appreciate it. But I got lost at the last second there. Unless he's using it more as like a pejorative and not like a true like if he's calling all these other people like bitches. Which I think that might be the route that he's going. I think he was, because he said he's like, oh, can I swear? So I think he was trying to say a different word, but in a family acceptable manner. That's funny. Yeah, I mean, people think it's a big thing. They're like, dude, he makes money off of ads. He makes money off of sponsorships. He's doing this to make money. Isn't that what we're all doing? Are you fucking showing up at Froyo because you love fucking frozen custards? You're like, my one life's passion. I don't show up to this fucking Go-Gurt store because of the paycheck. I have a true like affinity in my life to just serve frozen yogurt to people. Like I don't get it. I mean, we literally all have jobs, and the point of a job is to hopefully have a job you like, but also to make money. And then yet with content creators, people are like, wait, are they making money? I don't really necessarily get the difference. Is it time to exit GME? No clue. I bought the night Kitty tweeted, but stop losses now. Elaborate on potential short squeeze if it's happening. Thanks, Matt. There's 18% short interest. So yes, those people could get squeezed out. Stop losses, that's up to you and your system. I don't know if you're a day trader or swing trader. I don't know if you're talking about Saga. I don't know if you're talking about options. Is it happening right now? No. If a short squeeze were happening, the stock would be it's down 5%. And the SPY is not doing anything. Once again, it was really close to my profit levels, and now it's not. Now am I even in? I'm at least still in the green, so I can't complain too hard at the exact moment. The 5-minute bullish, 10-minute bullish, 30-minute still battling it out at this cloud. On the NASDAQ, 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, all bullish. The daily bar on both the ES and the NQ are inside bar, so basically just non-range. If we take a look at the options market did rip until about 10:32, and then apparently the party was over, at least in the very short term. So let's see how this plays out. There is a hedge wall in the SPX at 5,270. For those of you curious on GME, it is literally doing nothing. Some people are closing out puts, but calls have been flat. We're not really seeing much movement on GME's options today. People are really mad at you for their stupid decisions. 'Tis life. 'Tis life. It is what it is. Dude, we need some sort of movement, some sort of momentum. We're just not doing shit right now. All right. Do we have... You guys did send in reacts. I do appreciate that. That's so nice. You guys, you're making the show part of your own. MTG. Holy SHIT. Marjorie did not hold back on this reporter. Bravo.
In that room? No, absolutely not. I mean, everything I said is correct. It's how the American people feel. It's what we know to be a fact. It's all the evidence has been proven true. We have Jamie Raskin in there accusing us of worshiping Trump, worshiping as a convicted felon. He is a convicted felon. Well, yeah, so is George Floyd. And everybody, and you all too, the media worship George Floyd. Democrats worship George Floyd. There were riots burning down the fucking country over George Floyd, and Raskin is in there saying we worship him. Excuse me, let me correct you, and this is really important. I don't worship, I worship God. God. And Jesus is my savior. I don't worship President Trump. And I'm really sick and tired of the bullshit annex I have to deal with constantly from the Democrats. So that's what we just went through in there. And then they're sitting there, they can attack my character all day long. What's his face in there? Whoever was talking last was calling me insane. But yet we can't say, oh, they're attacking my character. Oh no, it's nonstop BS and annex. You want to know why? The Democrats don't have anything. They're responsible for the lockdowns, forced vaccinations, kids being forced to stay home, people committing suicide, and all the horrors that this country lived through during COVID. Fauci belongs in prison. He should be tried for mass murder, and he should be tried for crimes against humanity. That's how I feel after that hearing. That's how the American people feel. Excuse me.
Oh, she's mad. This has really nothing to do with the video, but I did meet MTG one time. And let me tell you, that woman, she has a strong back. She looks like she could literally do pull-ups for days. Like I said, has nothing to do with the video. I'm well aware of that. But if there were some random chance of what politician do you think you could do the most pull-ups? She would be a strong candidate. She really, really would. I just want to throw that out there, that if in your life you're ever presented with a betting line of what politician can do the most pull-ups, you should pick her. Just want to throw that out there. Just throwing that out there. No, nothing to do with the clip. I just want you to know that if you're ever presented with that, that's what you should be doing. To add actual context, I think this is the clip. This is the clip that people are referring to. I wanted to watch it with all of you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Fauci, you were quoted on CBS Face the Nation saying it's easy to criticize, but they're really...
I'm a bigger fan when they have the big ones, like the huge posters. Once again, just a little side opinion.
Really criticizing science because I represent science. Do you represent science, Mr. Fauci?
I am a scientist who uses the scientific method to gain information.
Yes, you said you represent science. Do you represent science, Mr. Fauci? Yes
Again,
or no? Yes or no?
No, that's not a yes or no
Yes,
answer.
it's a yes or no.
I don't think it is.
Okay, well, we'll take that as a you don't know what you represent.
Oh,
But this, as director of the NIH, you did sign off on these so-called scientific experiments.
He killed
and
puppies?
as a dog lover, I want to tell you this is disgusting and evil, what you signed off on, and these experiments that happened to beagles paid for by the American tax.
Yo, are we doing experiments on beagles? For real? In my life, if I see a human hit another human, I'm like, I wonder if it was called for, what was the context? If I see someone hit a dog or a cat, it makes my blood boil. I am so much more accepting of a human hitting another human than I am a dog or a cat. Without a doubt. If you hit a dog or a cat, we have a problem. If you hit a human, I need more context. Beagles are tasty.
Taxpayer. And I want you to know Americans don't pay their taxes for animals to be tortured like this. So the type of science that you are representing, Mr. Fauci, is abhorrent, and it needs to stop. Mr. Fauci, you also represent the type of science
bigger posters
where you confess
we need bigger
that
ones.
you made up the COVID rules, including
I didn't hear what you
6
said.
feet social distancing and masking of children.
I never
You
said I made anything up.
You admitted that you made it up. You
I
made
didn't
it up
say
as you went.
I made it up.
So are you saying this is fake news, Mr. Fauci?
I didn't say I made anything up.
Sand, please? Really?
I said that it is not based in science and it just appeared.
But this is science.
What does dogs have to do with anything that we're talking about today?
These are scientific experiments. This is what you signed off on. But you also told the American people they had to distance by 6 feet. They had to wear masks. But let's also talk a little bit further about the type of science that you represent. NIH scientists made $710 million in royalties from drug makers, a fact that's been hidden. Let's talk about the fact about, is it right for scientists and doctors getting paid by the American people, government taxpayer paychecks, to get patents where they're paid millions and hundreds of millions of dollars in royalty fees?
Wait, is she saying that taxpayers fund the research, and then the people who solve it, who only figured it out because of the taxpayer dollars, they then keep all the royalties? Is that what's happening?
Especially when the NIH and these government agencies, most powerful agencies in our country, are recommending medical suggestions and advice and making up guidelines like 6 feet distancing and masking of children. Do you think that's appropriate? Do the American people deserve to be abused like that, Mr. Fauci? Because you're not doctor. You're Mr. Fauci in my few minutes.
Interesting. People that hurt animals are horrible people. Well, except birds, because birds are not real. Oh, we all knew that. Yeah, of course birds aren't real. So there was that, just to add a bit of context to the clip. She did the report right after the interview, right after. What is this? This looks like Loaded. What are we doing? Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison, maybe just straight up Adam Sandler's net worth. 1988, 0. All right, good chunk of change by 27, a little bit more by 28. Crossed a milli in 1995. All right, crush it with Happy Gilmore. Wedding Singer brings him up to 5 milli. Of course. Waterboy, dude, he should be worth more than that. Daddy's Home, 33 mil. What movie is that? Hot Chicks, 57. Dude, why did his wealth explode so much? Is it because of his own production company? 200 million before 2010? I know he now has a crazy Netflix deal. 2010, $250 million. Grown Ups, 300. I guess just Wexler, Hubie Doobie Doobie Doo, or whatever the hell that movie was. When does he? So he's almost at $500 million. Adam Sandler's worth almost $500 million. I'm surprised they didn't have murder mystery in that one. I really do enjoy the murder mystery movies. $500 million. Good. He's funny. This dude said that he saw a guy betting on the WNBA based off of their period schedule. What?
There was a man at our dive bar in Steubenville who was watching the WNBA on the television and sports betting at the same time. And someone said, you're a degenerate gambler. What are you doing betting on WNBA? And he said, no, I got a system. I think the power forward's on a period. And someone said, well, how do you know? And they got listed in the injury report throughout the year. You can tell when they're out with soreness and you can track their cycles and you can find out when she's menstruating and she's going to have an off game and bet against her. There was a man at our...
It's kind of genius, but also like kind of really strange. It's pretty weird, man. Bro had 3 seconds to warn us all.
It's the little things in life. This is the best relationship advice, okay? Opening doors for your girl. There you go, babe. Telling her I love you, giving her kisses in the morning, you know, stuff like that. Look, I only got 3 fucking seconds. Do not ever get married. It's a waste of your fucking time. All they do is steal your money, make you broke, and complain about every fucking thing. Isn't that right, babe? You know, you just got to be an amazing husband and just do little things, right?
Right.
All right.
Doing the Lord's work right there. That's pretty funny.
谢谢点了咖啡啊，小心别翻倒啊！轻功，哎，你，喂，走，来，走，走。
What are you guys sending into the show?
谢谢点了咖啡啊，小心别翻倒啊！
What? Where do you guys find this stuff? You confuse me. You confuse me. All right, these were some other things I found that I wanted to watch with all of you. I own 1.2 million of GME and 700K of AMC, and I'm ready to roll. So this is Dave Portnoy of Barstool Sports. I guess he himself is now diamond handing it.
I said, fire this thing up. I said, get the hammer and fire it up. I got a plane that I got to catch. I'm getting picked up at 9 a.m. That's 12 minutes on the dial. For those who know, I'm wearing a brick watch. I don't know where the other one went. I'm talking fast because of Roaring Kitty. Roaring Kitty, deep ventures or something, deep intrinsic value on Wall Street Bets or Reddit or something.
Deep intrinsic
has
value.
revealed that he owns like 15 million or billion of GameStop. He like
knows
owns the
none of the
company.
details.
He flipped the Uno card on social media. I saw it. I'm watching the Oilers. That move by McDavid, top shelf, game over. They were horrible. Worst performance
Deep
by
intrinsic
team to
value.
go. Elio's telling me take Florida. I'm winning everything. I put it all aside.
Truly
I
has
said,
no idea what's
Roaring
going on.
Kitty's- He's in. Roaring Kitty flipped the Uno card. I still own GameStop and AMC from the last time. I now own over 1 million of GameStop.
Wow.
About 700 of AMC. I'm trying to get in Fifi, but
Don't
I
get
don't
into
know if I
Fifi.
can buy it. I'm not even set up to buy correctly. I'm going through. I gotta place orders like a normal schmo. But I said, get me in. If Roaring Kitty's in, I said, send me the smoke single. He threw the Uno card. I said, both. I dove in, both hands. Splash. Now, I don't know. Robin Hood Vlad the Impaler is probably going to fuck with us. Right? He's
Vlad
probably
the
gonna fuck with
Impaler.
us. It's not moving. Is it frozen? Is the thing?
Probably a
I'm
hole.
all the way in. I said, in. So let's rip, Roaring. Let's go. Let's fucking go. I got a plane at 9. I said, fire this shit up at 8:45. Let me talk to my people at TDTG.
I hope he makes some money. All right, this might have answered my questions on the whole NIH thing. Over $700 million in royalties were paid to NIH scientists from drug makers. Fauci is claiming he hasn't made any money from COVID. Do you believe him?
Dr. Fauci, how much have you earned from royalties from pharmaceutical companies since the pandemic began in 2021?
Zero.
Not
It
buying
says
it.
NIH scientists made $710 million in royalties from drug makers. You're saying that you did not receive any of the $710 million.
On COVID, I received, I think, $122 for a monoclonal antibody that I made 27 years ago.
Okay, so just in general, though, how much have you received, not related to COVID, just in general, how much have you received in royalties between 2021 and 2023?
I think none.
Okay, so somebody received the $710 million.
Somebody did, but not me.
You didn't receive any royalties. Okay.
I see no royalties associated with COVID.
The bottom line here is that scientists at NIH did receive $710 million in royalties. And I guess my question is, don't you think that if these experiments are made using American tax dollars, that any of those royalties, this nearly billions of dollars, should be going back to the American taxpayer, not in the pockets of the scientists? Do you believe that's a law that we should consider changing?
If you want to change the patent laws and the Bayh-Dole Act, then go ahead.
Okay.
But that's not for me to say.
I'm asking your opinion. Okay.
Seems so messed up. NIH was doing gain of function, which is illegal, and Fauci was aware and okay with it. Seems messed up. All right, so this was some crazy news from yesterday. Breaking. Unrealized losses on investment securities for banks jumped to $517 billion in the first quarter of 2024. This is $39 billion higher than the $478 billion recorded in Q4 of 2023. The surge was driven by higher residential mortgage-backed security losses held by banks due to rising mortgage rates. Mortgage-backed securities, MBS, that remember the whole 08 crisis? Q1 2024 also marked the 10th consecutive quarter of unrealized losses on an even longer streak than during the 08 financial crisis. As higher for longer returns, unrealized losses are likely to continue rising. Did the banking crisis ever really end? Probably freaking not. Those are horrible. Wow. That can't be good. That can't be sustainable. A little bit of a crypto update that I thought was cool. Right here, Joe Rogan's average Bitcoin buy was $518. He got in early. He has spent a total of $2.7K and he is now up $359,000, has not taken any money yet. So apparently Rogan, which he doesn't really talk about that much, he's been diamond him in Bitcoin for a while with monster percentage returns. Obviously, this money to someone like him doesn't mean much, but I think it's still pretty cool. He basically made himself a free house. That's nuts. SPY's looking a little bit heavy right now, unfortunately. Options are dipping, but I don't know. So This is kind of what's freaking me out right here. This 30-minute, the fact that it tried to break out and then got smacked. It just couldn't hold the breakout. Obviously on the 5 and the 10 it did, but look at the 5 and the 10 are now reversing. So I still think it needs a bit more time. Similar situation on the NASDAQ. It tried to be strong this morning. Tried to push, try to hold, battling it out, and maybe getting smacked a little bit under right now. I'm not really convinced on either side at this moment. Just to be clear of my own opinion, yes, I guess the SPY just hit a new intraday low, but just kind of judging what we're seeing here, it could revert very quickly, especially with the fact that the NASDAQ is holding on a bit stronger. GME is actually picking up. Coin was going, then just got smacked, unfortunately. So the SPY showing some weakness, most likely because of what's happening in the energy sector. As I alluded to before, oil is getting murked. Oil is just dying, which means that XLE is dying, and XLE is going to be an important part of the S&P 500. It's actually this red part right here. This part that's diving, this is the S&P 500 heat map. So obviously when you have a portion of it diving, you're going to have potentially the SPY diving if the other things aren't holding up, and Qs are coming down a little bit. So tech sector, I'm not really sold on the day. Obviously Friday and then yesterday, Monday, larger chop days. So like we end up kind of going nowhere, but there were big intraday swings. Wouldn't be the most surprised if today is just not even large swings, but just like kind of a choppy mess. So I would just wait for like a clear trend to present itself. Overall, if you haven't already, don't forget to sign up for the Discord. It is free if you use the code Goonie for the first month. So it's the second link in the description of the video. My mods will drop it in chat right now. But I'm telling you, if you want to get my trades, get the Piper signal, private lectures, and really just like it's a voice chat and a type chat of people trading every single day, day in out, bouncing ideas off of each other. If you're looking for your own trading community, this is the best one for you to be a part of. And like I said, just to put my money where my mouth is, to show you that I really think you're going to like it. The first month is 100% free if you put in the code Goonie. If you have any issues getting connected, reach out to me, media@MatthewKohrs.com. You can DM me on Twitter. You can DM me on Discord. Like I said, you can email me. You can get in hold with a mod. We are more than happy to individually help you get connected to the Discord if you're having any technical issues. So check that out. It's the second link in the description of the video. Obviously, shout out to StreetBeat as well. I alluded to them before. If you want to mimic politicians, there's no better brokerage that's set up to do it. They already have it set up. You literally just pick how much money you want in it. They make it comically easy. And then GME is picking up. It's actually not far away from going green on the day. Is GME's options picking up? What's going on right now with GME? They are. People are, right now in real time, they are buying calls, and they are buying calls in size. So puts are kind of being slowly but surely closed out. Those are these blue lines. But what's really pushing the stock up right now is calls right at 1107. Someone with size was just buying. Let's see how much momentum they have. Very interesting to pay attention to. Anywho, folks, that's what I have for you for the moment. I do appreciate all the support. Thank you. We'll be posting some content later on today, and then we will be streaming once again tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., bright and early. I hope to see you there. Best of luck in the markets. I hope you make a buttload of money, but remember, what's most important is protecting your downside. Pay much more attention to your risk than your potential reward, and I know that's much easier said than done, but folks, get ready. Get ready, because I think volatility is returning to the system. Content later today, streaming once again tomorrow morning. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe on your way out. And that's what I have for you. Peace out, Girl Scout. Have a good one.